Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The next final of the last competition day, WSBS World Cup Châteauroux 2022. Welcome to the Mixed Air Rifle VI standing event. And we'll start it with a command from Christian Bailly.
Athletes to the line.
Position H. With a big applause, we welcome the shooter from Poland with his coach Adam Dobosz. Here is Jagosz Klos. Position G. He's representing Slovakia with his coach Stene Kunetek. Here comes Stefan Kopczyk. Position F. She is representing Poland with her coach Katarzyna Moskal. Here is Barbara Moskal. Position E. Representing Czech with his coach Roman Oleszowski. Here is Martin Adamek. Position D. Representing France with the coach Nicolas Chianchy. Here is David Dula. Position C. She is also representing Poland. She comes with her coach Dariusz Mędrzejewski. Here is Katarzyna Oleszowska. Position B. He's coming from Spain with his coach Maite Barbariola. Here is Aga Zulabarrieta Chakati. And on position A. And again, Poland with the coach Sebsta Zbigniew. I hope I spoke it right. Barbara Matuka. And the officials of this final. The jury member in charge for that final will be Liam Crawford, Ireland. And the most important man of the final is the Chief Range Officer, Christian Bailly, France. And he is ready for the first command.
Take your positions.
Good afternoon. We are watching the final of Air Rifle VI Standing. My name is Verl van Hoeven and I will be your commentator during this final. And to explain you, VI stands for visually impaired. We have the best 8 athletes here in the final hall out of the qualification round this morning, and the top score was at position 1 from the athlete from Spain from 578. We see a big difference between the score, and we will see what's going to happen in the final because everybody starts with a 0. In a few moments, the 0 will give the command for preparation and sighting time. During this time, the athlete is allowed to fire some shots and check his equipment and his position towards the target. You see that the athlete is accompanied by trainer coach. This assistant will help the athlete to aim on his or her own target, not to create crossfires. So we see the preparation of the athlete. The rifle is a standard air rifle. the diopter has been exchanged by this special equipment that generates a sound. So the higher the sound, the better they're aiming towards the bullseye 10.9. So still looking for the right position. And the athlete, of course, must feel comfortable because doesn't see the surroundings. All athletes are blindfolded, so that even if they have some possibility to see a little bit, they don't gain additional support, so that all the athletes are having the same equipment. So the communication between the athlete and the assistant is by hand, so he's not talking, but he is actually giving signals on the back of the athlete. And every athlete has his own protocol, so that gives information about the score, but also the position of the pellet. Was it a high 10 or a low 10 or a left or a right one?
5 minutes preparation and sighting time. Start.
So now the athletes are allowed to load their pistol, rifle, and fire some shots. So the system generates a sound and they can hear the sound in their headset. It's very important for the athlete that the layout of the where they can find their pellets, where they can rest their air rifle. It's very important that they don't get confused about the surroundings at their firing point. This is Martin Adammek. And most of the athletes have a long track record of shooting VI competitions, and we also have a few new ones. So we're going to see what's going to happen during the coming competition shots. So he's looking for the target. Yeah, he finds it, and then he makes actually small crosses. Maybe you can see it in aiming, to find the highest sound, because an 8 or a 9 is a circle on the target, so that means that he also hears a tone, and when he's coming from the right to the left, he can hear the tone coming up and lower again, and then he needs to come back a little bit, and then he also can, from low to high, he can adjust the highest tone, and that's actually what he's doing, is making a small cross. And if he feels confident about the tone, then he pulls the trigger. You see the communication on the back. There are some adjustments to make. He checks when he's on the target, and then he's on the run. Another adjustments. So he's not really satisfied yet. So we have the athlete from Spain. So at the target, actually towards the athlete, there's a small LED that actually is a reference point for the aiming device. It's an infrared LED with a diameter of 5 millimeters, which is actually projected on a camera, and the camera calculates the center towards the distance between the aiming point and the center of the target, and that generates the sound. And it's really impressive to see how they are able to shoot high scores. As soon as they hear the sound beeping up and beeping down, then they know they are in a very small area of the target, and then they are able to aim, listen, and pull the trigger to fire the shot. See, they're able to load by themselves. They know exactly where everything is. So within a few seconds we will hear 30 seconds. That means that the end of the preparation sighting time is coming. Then the zero will say stop, and then we will start the final shots. That will be
30 seconds.
That will be 2 series of 5 shots in 250 seconds. So the distance is 10 meters, and the maximum weight of the rifle is 5.5 kilogram.
Stop and load.
So now we wait for the command for the first series. There, I see some jury members walking. They're checking something. One rifle was loaded and he needs to unload it, so he mentioned there is a pellet in the barrel, and that's not allowed during this stage, so he has to unload it.
For the first competition series, load.
Now the load command is given.
Stop.
So we have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to fire 5 shots. And we have the first results. It's 8.5 for Barbara from Poland, and 10.7 for David Delin. That's a very good score to open. 10.6 for Martin Hanamek. Oh, Stefan Kopik shot a 3.4. That was also the athlete which had already loaded. I think he's a little confused about the procedure. It's always important to open with a high score, but you see that the scores are a little lower. But nevertheless, shooting without any seeing the target, but just listening to a sound and shooting at a rifle target, air rifle target, and it's a very complex process. After this first 5 shots, we will see who is taking the lead, who's going to be second. We see still that Stefan Kopchik still has problems with a 4.8. And it will cost a lot of energy, because in this morning they started with the qualification, and now they're standing here in this final hall and must perform, because there's no way out. You need to get the highest scores during this final. I see a 0.0, that's interesting. No score, okay. It looks all relaxed for all the athletes, but I can tell you that they are really nervous, and because this is the time they have to perform and are able to win a gold medal. But Barbara from Poland at 9.8. We see the athletes from Spain and 9.0. Martin Adamik 10.2. That's very good.
Stop.
So this is stop. We have results of the first 5 shots, and we have 2 athletes at position 1. Barbara Moskal from Poland at position 1, and accompanied by the athlete from Spain, Solo Barrete, with a score of 47.2. And then at position 3, Martin Adamek with a difference of 2.1. And on 4th position we have the athlete from France, David Delin.
For the next competition series, load.
And there the difference is 1.5. And now it's getting interesting for the next 5 shots, if they can keep their position, or
stop.
Maybe there will be big changes, because now they know their position, and that maybe they can motivate them to shoot higher scores. So we see 9.7 for the athlete from Spain. Oh, and 10.9, Stefan Kopczyk. Oh, that is a bullseye. That is really very, very, very good. So the first shots are done. And now we are seeing some high scores, and 10.7 for Barbara Moskal. So the 10s are coming right now. We have to wait how good they can perform right now. But I see some 10.3. So the athlete from Spain is really doing well. He's shooting in close or in the 10s. Barbara Moskal again, 10.7. That is really amazing what she is performing here right now. She's really aiming, looking for the target, listening, concentrating. And if she finds the right spot, you can see the movement of the barrel. The athlete needs to move a little bit to find the difference in sound. If they would be able to hold it in one position, they don't have any idea where they are on the target. So they need to make these small crosses to get an impression of the position. Now we see a 10.6 of Barbara, so she's really moving forward. Oops, and 6.2 for Barbara. Yeah. And the trouble is, if you move a little bit and pull the trigger, then you easily can be off target. So that's the risk of moving and pulling at the same time. We see another athlete from Poland. So the scores are a little dropping again. So those athletes then, which can keep the 9s and the 10s, will be coming to the top. But we also have a small fight at the end, position 7 and 8. After this 5 shots series, we will start with the shot by shot. And after 12 shots in total, we have the first elimination. So now the series, we will continue now with the shot by shot. So in the lead is Barbara Moskow from Poland with a score of 94.5, followed by Solabarretti, from Spain with a difference of 0.1, and Martin Adamek is following on position 3 with a difference of 10 points. So we have a top 3 and then we have a field from 4 to 8 where the differences are quite smaller. On position 4 we have David Tunin, 81.2, and second Polish athlete.
For the next competition shot, load.
So now we will see what happened on position 7 and 8, who will be eliminated at the first position. And due to the high differences in score, everything is still possible. Okay, we have to wait. The first scores have been done. Only one athlete has left 12 seconds. He needs to fire the shot. But I think he is looking for a target. He can't find it.
Stop.
Stop. That means he cannot fire the shot within the time frame. That means he has a 0.
0 for the line G.
I think he has a problem with finding the target because he also shot 10 point. So they unloaded. He also shot a 10.9, so he's able to shoot high scores, but I think he has a problem right now. I have no clue why. And that had reduced the difference between 7 and 8 to 0.8 points. So now it's really the next shot is between Stefan Kopczyk and Barbara.
For the next competition shot, low.
Matuka from Poland. Let's see what's going to happen.
Start.
So we have both. You can see both scores. Barbara makes an 8.9. Stefan has to be at least 8.9 equal score. So that means
stop.
Stefan Kopczyk stays in the final position 8, and we have to say goodbye to Barbara Matuka. So they put in the safety line in the barrel so everybody can see it's a safe rifle. They put on the table, and she's gonna leave the firing line. We thank her very much for her performance. She did very well. Let's see what's gonna happen next, because this is the standings after 12 shots. We have the first elimination, and now we will continue with 2 shots for the next elimination. And we just saw that the difference between the last 2 was 8 points, but everything can happen. So now it's between Kloos and Kopczyk.
For the next competition shot, load.
And I think the athletes in the position 1, 2 and 3 are relatively safe.
Stop.
Because between 3 and 4 is 12.8 points. We'll see what's going to happen right now. We're looking at Barbara Moskow. Is she able to... 10.1, that's good. She stays in a position. Let's see if the differences between the athletes has been changed. I think.
Stop.
The next shot is done. 2x10 from
And the difference between positions 6 and 7 have been reduced from 8 to 5.5. That was unfortunately a low shot from David Delin, and 6.1, and a good shot from Steven Kopchik, and 10.6. So now it's really nerving. What's going to happen in the next shot? Are they able to find the target in time and find the highest sound, and then softly pull the trigger so that they don't interfere their aiming.
For the next competition shot, load.
So Stefan is gonna load right now. He's checking his headset.
Start.
So now he can start aiming. And we have 50 seconds, and let's see. His assistant helps him a little bit about finding the target. Now he's on his own, and now he has to listen to the highest sound. Is he able to shoot a high score? And is it enough? Kopchik 6.4.
Stop.
That is not enough. So we have the next elimination. Stefan Kopchik is eliminated with a score of 104.1. So we have the safety procedure again, and then he is going to sit back in this final hole. Now this is a very new, very unique, good equipped final hall here in Châteauroux, France. So all the athletes must feel comfortable. There's enough space, good conditions to perform the best. So there are no changes in the top three. Poland, Spain, Czech are still in the lead, and then there is a big gap of 14.2 points towards position 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Stop.
You look at Martin Adamek. You can see the movement. Maybe we can see if he pulls the trigger. Yes, you see really he makes a quick short movement of the trigger because he heard the best sound, and then he needed to make a decision.
Stop.
And this is slightly different with athletes that can see, because they can interpret the movement, but it's very difficult to interpret the sound differences during the small crosses they make. So if they hear the highest sound, then they will pull the trigger. And that is also a cause of making failures, because trigger failures is very common in shooting sport.
The next decision comes by the next shot, and here, big applause, come on!
So the difference between
For the next competition shot, load.
So the difference between position 1 and 2 is also increasing. Now we have 3.0 points. And if the Spanish athletes wants to win a golden medal, he needs to stay close to Barbara Moscal. So the difference must not increase very high. Otherwise it's going to be a very difficult task for him. Now at the lowest position, 5 and 6.
Stop.
Now we have a difference of 5.4 between the two, Kloos and Derlin. It's going to be interesting in the next shot who will be eliminated. And I'm a little bit afraid for the athlete of France. Oh, yeah. And the decision is made. So he is on place number 6. So now we still have in the lead Barbara Moscal with a score of 150.9, followed by Sola Marette with a difference of 3 points, and the third is the second Polish athlete with a difference of 15.3 points. So we're waiting for the command of 0 for the next shot. See,
for the next competition shot, load.
So they're not allowed to load before the command, so they have to wait on the commands of the 0.
Start.
See, the athlete is at position, he's looking for the highest sound. Already fired a shot. And we have still no 10s yet. So the high score is 9.8 for Barbara Moscal, followed by 9.6 from Close from Poland as well. So it's for the athletes at position 4 and 5 very difficult to get into the range of the medals.
For the next competition shot, load.
But we cannot be sure what's going to happen in the coming shots.
Start.
With 1 shot to go, we know who is going to be the next, who's going to be eliminated in this final. Score of 7.3 compared to 7.2. And
stop.
That is not enough for the athletes from Poland to stay in the final. So we have the next elimination, place number 5, the athlete from Poland, Close, with a score of 144.8. So the assistant is putting in the safety line. So now we have the last 4 athletes in this final, and the difference between position 3 and 4 is 5.3 points. That means that everything still can happen on position 3. So the next 2 shots will be very interesting to watch. Does Martin Adamek is able to gain more points than the athlete from Poland?
Stop.
I'm looking at the athlete from Spain. He's very concentrated because he wants to win maybe a golden medal, but the distance has already increased to 5.8 points.
Stop.
And he made a very bad score of 3.2. I think he's a little bit nervous, and that can put him in a danger zone. And the difference between 3 and 4, 5.4 points, is still able to swap position, but it requires high scores, and the scores are not in the 10 series at the moment, so maybe we can have some change now.
For the next competition shot, load.
We have a close-up of the aiming device. Here we also see the aiming device, and on the side of
Start.
it, the USB battery. We see a score of 9.8. It's important at this point in time. Barbara makes a safe 8.8, still in the lead. And we see that the athlete of Poland on position 3 make an 8.9. It's almost impossible. And a 9.7 is not enough for Martin to stay in the medal match, so he is eliminated at position 4 with a score of 162.0. Yeah, you won't hear a lot of noise from the audience, because that will interfere in the hearing of the athletes. So if they start clapping, that can mislead the athlete by hearing the highest score. So that's why the audience is a little quiet, but they are still enthusiastic, and they're really watching a very good final here in Châteauroux, France.
For the next competition shot, load.
So now we can see, and you see that Barbara is very confident with a difference of 11.4 points towards the person at second place. But you can imagine, everybody has his own nerves at this point in the final. But the difference are really big. And we see a score of 10.1. So Barbara is still on track, intending to winning this final. And you can see they're all concentrated. They're waiting for the command of the CRO.
For the next competition shot, load.
And they have to rely on the information of the CRO and their assistant.
Start.
So she's on the right target. She starts aiming. And we see a score of 9.8, 8.4, and 8.9. Still there's a decision. At the third place we have the athlete from Poland, Ozek Wowska. And I see a happy face. I think she is happy with the result. She waits for the assistant to take her to a chair. And now we have the last two finalists for the gold and silver medal. With a difference of 13.7 points. That means that as long as Barbara Moskal doesn't make a failure, she stayed in the lead.
For the next competition shot, load.
So, rifle is loaded. She starts to aim.
Start.
We have the first shot. Okay,
Stop.
We don't see results, and the score is a 6.8 and a 7.2. So they don't take high risk by long aiming and aiming for a higher score. The difference is now 13.3 points. So even with a 0 and a 10.9, I think Barbara is in a very comfortable situation.
Shot, load. Start.
And let's see if they can perform. The last shot is also important. The same as the first one. We have a 8.5 for Barbara Moscal, and let's
Stop.
let's put the 5.1. We have the final results. The first medal has been won by Barbara Moscal and followed by Solo Maretta from Spain, and the difference was 16.7. The high score in this final is 223.9. That's a very good achievement. She's happy, and I think in a few moments they will present the finalists. It's an impressive final here, and we see now the medalists with their assistant. They congratulate each other. Two athletes from Poland are in the medal series. So now they get in position. And okay, one headset is removed. Yes. Okay, now we're ready for the pictures. I thank you for watching this final. It was a very interesting final, and hopefully I see you later around 4 o'clock this afternoon. Have a nice day. Bye.
First we come later to the last final of this World Cup 2022 WSBS Châteauroux. 50:45 will be reporting. That you can see. 1600 be here in the final hall for the last closing final. That is the R5, which will start by the first competition shot on 16:15 hour